before the Niners potentially trade any wide receiver, Jennings, Ayuk, Debo, they're going to have to get a real good look at their first round pick, and everyone's going to want to know what this guy looks like starting next week in rookie minicamp. Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall is a really big storyline. He's a first round pick. He's going to be 24. He's not a project. He plays a sexy position. He's the kind of position where you can produce and make headlines in practice. And if you don't produce and make headlines in practice, that's a headline. I mean, he's in AJ Jenkins' position. Not saying he's AJ Jenkins, but everyone wants to know, dude, were you worth the first round pick? Because no one thinks he was. Right. Kyle thinks he was. Right. So is Kyle and Ricky against the world on this one? Like, are you the truth? Everyone's going to want to know. And there's going to be like a quick, it's not going to take too long to see if he can win.
It's not going to take
too long. Yeah.
Now, we'll know by camp. We'll know by camp. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll know by camp. And really, that's the biggest thing that I see from him is that just the physical aspect of him, which he plays. Mm-hmm. When he can run, he's good to go. I mean, he's highlight ready. He plays to his speed, but when he gets hands on him, I just want to be able to see him be as dynamic as I've seen at time. That's the only thing that I can really say about what I've seen from him thus far, because I haven't seen much. I've just seen tape. I'm not going to be one of these guys touting as if I've watched this guy since Arizona State. Like, I haven't. But what I have seen is that when he is special, when he is dynamic, he's redlining, meaning that you could tell that he's giving as much effort as he can at that moment to be able to do something special. But like his modus operandi, like his day-to-day me going through an offense, he's going to need to get schemed open. And he can be a weapon. And when he catches the ball and open space, I can see all of that stuff working. But as far as like, if we think that we got another guy that can go eat on his own, if Ricky Pearsall played in the Super Bowl, right, we still would have lost that game. Like if they would have just taken another corner, put him on Ricky Pearsall, and he would not have gotten open.
That's what I want to see. Like in these camps, I think we'll be able to see, well, maybe not right away, but what does Ricky Pearsall look like against Travarius Ward?
Yeah.
What does Ricky Pearsall look like against Diamador Lenore? Like Travarius, maybe he won't be able to beat Travarius right away because Travarius is an all-pro or a Pro Bowl cornerback. Diamador Lenore is not. I mean, I think Diamador is very good, but what can you do against Lenore? Because if you can't beat Lenore, there's probably 30 cornerbacks in the NFL who are better than him. So right there, he's a number 2 corner. So right there, you got a problem if you can't beat Diamador Lenore. Because you know who can? Brandon Ayuk. So I want to know.
Yeah, I just want to go see if he can go eat on his own. That's all. Yeah. If he can go and get press man coverage and get locked in and go get the ball, go get open on his own. Not have corners run routes for him, be able to outrun guys, catch balls at the highest point consistently. So those are some of the things that, you know, we're going to have to be able to see. And then to be honest, like these are some things that you would look to see from like a later round pick, where if we would have got like a Javon Baker in the 4th round or something, it would have been like, all right, well, let's see if all of that stuff that he's doing in college translates, right? But when you get picked in the 1st round as a receiver, there's a level of consistency that is expected from you as a 1st round receiver in the NFL. Like whatever you do, you got to be able to do that at will. So if you're a high point guy, if you're a route guy, if you're a speed guy, if you're a dynamic, you know, in between the hashes guy, whatever you do, that's got to be something that you call on at will. So that's what I want to see from Ricky Pearsall, is that he's incredibly polished. He got through his entire college career, but I want to see what his calling is going to be. What's his calling card going to be professionally? Not his role in this scheme, but what is he going to be able to bring to the table versus where people see Brandon Ayuk and they're like, dude, his route running, his catch radius and his feet are unreal. You look at Deebo Samuel, you're like, dude, yard after the catch, whatever is happening with Debo, he can pull that out of his back pocket. That's what he does, right? So with Ricky Pearsall, I mean, as a first round draft pick, I'm going to need to see like what is elite about you.
Yeah, and what's cool about this setup this offseason, maybe it's why the Niners took him in round 1 more than I think about it. We were just talking about Ayuk, and I'm over there, role playing his agent, saying this guy really, don't be surprised if this drags on until September 6th, if he's not even on the initial 53-man roster. That all could happen. So if that's the case, if Brandon Ayuk could be gone for a while, then Ricky Pearsall could get first team reps in OTAs, in mini camp and training camp, because Ayuk potentially won't be there. And Jennings is basically a slot receiver. So all of a sudden, we could be seeing Ricky Pearsall against Diamador Lenore every day. That would be very interesting, instructive.
It's going to be good work. It's going to be good work.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want to see from the kid. I mean, he's a rookie. You're a first round draft pick coming on to a very established offense. So you're clearly going to have a role. So whatever role that is, you need to be doing that extremely well, right? Like first round draft picks play. All right. I don't know a lot of first round draft picks outside of quarterbacks that don't play, right? And even those should play. So, you're not a quarterback, you are a receiver in one of the most pass prolific eras in NFL history. So I look at receivers getting drafted now in today's day and age is almost as solidified as getting a lineman almost, right? If like you're going to get a receiver, that's going to be a high utility asset that you're going to be using at all times, especially in the first round. So I'm going to be looking to see it from him. And I think we're going to be able to see something. Like Kyle played receiver. If there is a position, right? He has his third round running back. He has that third round running back saga. But Kyle he's played the position. He's coached the position. It's something that he has a quarterback now that he can trust. I'm giving him grace on this one. I want to see what this kid can do because I want to get out of the draft talk. We already, all right, he was a reach. Cool. In the guise of the draft. But now the draft is over. So now let's see what he can do.
Yeah. And I feel like when they drafted him, a lot of people started theorizing, oh, he's here to replace Debo.
Yeah.
Here to replace Debo. Like, he might be here in case Ayuk holds out training camp and longer. They may want to install new things that Ayuk won't be here for. Like Ayuk may not be able to hit the ground running until later on in the season. Who knows how this plays out? The Niners might want to give themselves options here and take some leverage away from Brandon because that's a big leverage piece for Brandon. You want to win the Super Bowl? You want me here, right? I'm your guy. Well, now we have a first round pick playing your position and we like him. So come back when you're ready.
Can I push back?
Please do.
I don't know about that, Grant. If I'm Brandon and I see like them using like Ricky Pearsall as like a dangling carrot as to, all right, we'll move on from you. If I'm Brandon, I'm like, okay.
I'm not saying we'll move on from you, but I'm like, if you want to hold out into the season, go ahead. We'll find you and we'll play this guy and eventually you'll come back.
Yeah.
Unless Ricky's no good. And I guess we'll find out. But that's the thing. Like Brandon Ayuk is giving his potential replacement one hell of an audition.
Do you see it that way? You see Brandon Ayuk handling his contract situation as Ricky Pearsall. Well, okay. Well, if I'm being fair, it's not like Brandon Ayuk is the number one option on the offense anyway. So you could package what Brandon does with Ricky Pearsall and say, hey, look, man, we got somebody. And as a matter of fact, Ricky Pearsall is faster than Brandon Ayuk.
What if Brandon Ayuk sits out all of training camp? Did I lose you?
No. I'm still here with my camera. Okay. I got you, bro.
What if Ayuk sits out all of training camp and Ricky Pearsall is great? A huge hit. He's just the hit of training camp. That's not good for Brandon. It's not great.
No, it's not. It's not. But all right, I'll put it like this: it's not a huge hit for Brandon, but at the same time, like I feel like BA is really trying to just be validated, not necessarily like rock the apple crate. I think that's the biggest thing too, because he does have a lot of equity with the team, Grant. And I don't see BA.
I don't know. It just
feeling all of that.
Imagine if the Niners had a first round pick last year and drafted a D end, and they're like, "All right, Nick, let's keep talking." Like that's not what they didn't do anything like that, but that's kind of what they did with Brandon. Like, all right, man, like you're asking for a lot of money, and we can keep negotiating, but in the meantime, we got another wide receiver who went to your school and has a similar skill set.
So do you think that's how the Niners are playing with Brandon?
I mean, they didn't play that way with Nick. It would be funny though if Pearsall is just a terrible, like if he's the next Cam Latu or the next Danny Gray and it just doesn't work. I mean, that wouldn't be bad for Brandon.
I just think that that's incredibly ridiculous. Like for them to put that much worth into the kid, they drafted him high, and he just hit what, like 1,300 yards last season, 1,400 yards last season. Like, I don't get it. And honestly, the real connection is that BA and Ricky, I mean not BA and Ricky, but BA and Brock haven't really necessarily been able to like draw that much of a connection because they're doing so much for Debo. I just think that it just makes sense to get rid of Debo, or move on from Jawan if it makes too much sense. But I mean, if he gets too expensive, but I don't see them using Ricky Pearsall as a bargaining chip to like, leverage BA into, coming off of
come down. It's just a question of how desperate are they? How desperate are they to have Brandon Ayuk come back week 1 or to be there for the beginning of training camp? I feel like Ricky Pearsall could affect that.
Well, I'll say this. They obviously think the world of Brandon because whatever offers they got throughout the draft wasn't enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, I mean,
they don't think enough of him to give him the extension right now and get him into OTAs. Like that's what the Eagles did with both of their wide receivers. They're taken care of.
Yeah, but both
Amon-Ra St. Brown taken care of. Done.
But okay. Slow down, Cowboy. There's a lot. We got a lot of different business on that offense too. We got a $17 million a year running back. We got a tight end that we're paying. We got a left tackle that's making over $30 million a year. That nobody's talking about that money. All right. So really, I'm just saying
the Niners could have did what the other teams did, what the Eagles did, what the Lions did, but instead they drafted a wide receiver in round 1. No one else did that. That's a different way to negotiate.
All right. So I mean, but this.
Hey man, if it were me, I wouldn't like that they drafted a wide receiver in round 1. If I were Brandon Ayuk, like what the hell are you doing? Excuse me. I thought I was so important to you.
I don't know. I just think that even if they did, it's like they didn't really hit the mark. If you're really trying to compare.
Brandon says he's a fire pick.
You think, yeah, of course he's a fire pick because he's not threatened by him. I would say that too. Come on, bro. Like how many times, Grant, how many times do we like graciously like congratulate trolls or people that say things about us is because it's like, I have no choice but to be nice to you because I know I'm better than you. Like I'm just gonna, so like BA, what is he gonna say? Oh my God. Is that how y'all really feel? Like if we would have got Xavier Worthy, that would have been something like, BA, you're on notice.
I'm telling you, man, like both of these guys were in trade discussions the last couple months. If Ricky Pearsall is a huge freaking hit this offseason, it makes one of them expendable. Brandon, Debo, if the Niners want to do that. If Ricky Pearsall's a big bust in training camp, well then the Niners don't have options. They're going to bring back those two guys and keep them, even if they don't feel like they can afford them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, bro, I think that they're going to pay him. They have no choice. They're really trying to move Debo. And if they can, they're going to move Jawan. But I really do believe that they're way past the option of just moving on from Brandon. I think they're not going to move on from him. They're not.
Nah, I don't think they will either.
They're going to pay him.
This is what I'm talking about. This is a Ricky Pearsall topic. I'm just talking about why he's intriguing. You take a wide receiver in round 1, people want to know. And if he's good, it creates options. All
right, but what sucks about that is that he's an option all the way until he has like his first one-on-one practice. And like if he's mid, it's like he's not a choice, he's not a bargain anymore. And
exactly.
This is one thing.
That's why we want to see it. It's going to be a moment of truth for this guy.
this is one thing that we're going to know is that everybody's going to want to know that's going to be a fire ass practice report.
Like everybody's going to want to know. You know, like this is what I'm trying to say. We're going to see the offense with Ayuk gone and Pearsall in his spot for training camp. If Ayuk holds out, we're going to see what it looks like. It might look great. It might look awful. It'll be very interesting to see.
Yeah, but if it does look great or if it does look awful, it's still training camp. It's going to be in a vacuum, right? Everybody's going to put a wet towel on it and calm it down, right? Sure. But it's not going to be nothing, but it will be
nothing.
It will be something.
It'll be something to talk about.